So, I want to thank you for taking time to listen what I have to say. If you are engaged, if you are married, or even if you are a parent, you want to listen to these three terms that I'm going to talk about because they specifically relate to you and your life. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Lucretia. What I do is help families organize what matters most in terms of creating an emergency plan, or also known as end of life planning. But people get really freaked out when you say end of life. So I like to keep it simple by just saying creating an emergency plan for your family, because guess what? We all need one. I don't care if you're healthy, your spouse is healthy, your kids are vivacious and they're moving around, getting on your nerves, or you've got parents that are doing really well and they help you out with the kids. That's the best time to put plans like this in place. You know why? Because nobody's stressed out. Everybody can sit down and talk about the what ifs, if you will, in a rational mindset. That way they are able to respond and they're not reacting in the heat of a moment, because we all know when we're getting rushed and we have something that happens unexpectedly and we have not planned for it, we do not think as clearly as we normally would if we took time to make preparations. So listen, I have three terms that I want to talk to you guys about that if you don't know, do your research, look these things up, and ask your licensed agent about these so they can explain it to you in a more defined term to help you understand if this is going to be a good fit for you, which I feel like each person that has a spouse that has kids or has just gotten engaged needs to have this conversation so they know what's going to be what. So the first word I want to bring up is fiduciary, financial trust. So what this person basically does is they are going to act in the best interest of their client. Now that would be in terms of like somebody that's a lawyer, insurance agent. A stockbroker would not necessarily be that, because they're really going to do what's going to be in the best interest of what's going on with the environment, really. Supposed to be for the person, but that's not always the case. So fiduciary, you want to make sure you're working with people that are working in the best interest of you and your family. Now, if you happen to find somebody that says they're doing that, but you find reasons to believe otherwise, don't wait to see if it's true or not. Find somebody else, okay? And your gut usually gives you that instance to let you know, something doesn't quite feel right about this person. They seem nice, but I just don't quite trust it. Go with your gut. Your gut is usually 99.9% of the time right. It just doesn't have all the evidence to back it up at that moment, but there's nothing wrong with finding somebody else that does the same exact thing, but they're in a different place. The next thing that I want to talk about is joint life policy. So what this is basically, it's also known as a first to die policy. Yes, it says die. So basically, if you have a spouse, or if you've just gotten engaged, or if you have kids, this is very important, because if something happens to one person and you have another person that's still there, your first goal is to make sure that your family is taken care of, right? Your priority is to make sure, even if you're not there, you're the protector or one of the protectors, and you want to make sure that if the other spouse is there, that they're able to carry on with daily life without being strained. So that means that they can still pay rent, they can still go to childcare, they don't have to move because they don't have enough money because there's only one spouse that was working, so now there's no income. Let's not ever put ourselves in that situation. So that's why I'm giving this information, because I have found in so much research that people don't understand the importance of having life insurance. Like, life insurance is not just for life, it's also, or it's not just for death, but it's also for your life, if you know how to utilize it. But what I'm talking about today is just making sure you have the bare basics in place so that if something was to happen to somebody, you're not rushed to try to figure out, what am I going to do? Need to be taken care of. It's also going to provide an income for them based off of how much they get. Then those are the questions that you want to ask your insurance agent. So the second one that you should be very aware of, excuse me, is called a survivorship policy. Now, why is this important? So usually if you get the first policy, okay, a joint life policy, that's going to cover the first person. So after that, or I'm not sure if you're able to do it at the same time, you also want to get a survivorship policy. So this basically covers the second person that passes away within the marriage. So this is also known as the second to die policy. I know it's not like the prettiest terminology, but it is what it is. And it's important that you guys know this so you can make informed decisions. So this policy basically, once the second person that's in the marriage has passed away, they now have money that's going to be left for whomever they deem necessary to pay for the final expenses and maybe have something left over for the family. So in addition, they can also carry on. Maybe they're staying with the parents and they're able to keep the home, keep the car, keep things that are necessary in order to keep a type of stability within the household. So again, for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Lucretia, and I have made it my life's mission to help families organize what matters most in terms of creating an emergency plan for your family. These things are extremely important, and they're so underrated and not talked about until people find themselves in the worst of the worst situations. And then when they find themselves there, they often say, I wish I had known this stuff sooner. So I'm giving this information to you because now you can't say that you didn't know. It's your job to act on it and find out more information and make sure that you're putting your family in the best situation possible. I have a book that's called Questions Now or Regrets Later. And what this book does is it provides a lot of different questions for different scenarios to help you understand which questions can give you the best clarity for the what if situations. And with this, it's basically taking out all the guesswork or most of the guesswork so you guys know who to talk to in terms of your financial institution, what to ask your an attorney, and questions that you want to ask licensed insurance agents. This is going to, again, put you in the best situation possible so you can make the most informed decisions. So if you have questions, please just drop a line below. Let me know what your question is, or you can contact me on my website, www.notyourtypicalplanner.com. Purchase the planner. It's an investment of your time, your energy, and you will be so grateful that you did it. I thank you guys for stopping to listen to what I have to say, and I'll see you in my next video.